Okay, storytelling Ron here, and this is Rime of the Frostmaiden, Bryn, Shander. This is where my characters or players are going to Bryn, Shander. Finally, they've done all the other towns except three of them. The ones on the other side, the north side, east side. So they've done all the west, Bremen, Lonelywood, Tourmaline, and then they did Dugan's Hole and Goodmead. Pretty fun stuff. If you watch the my playthrough, and now and they've liberated Targos. So now they're going to Bryn Shander just to see what's up there because they've traveled around it, because Goodmead, Dugan Hole, and Targos are all around Bryn Shander, and they've heard of the dire situation in Bryn Shander, and they know it's the big town, so they want to go there to they got some magic items they want to maybe sell, get some more information, and see what devastation, sacrificing and tyranny and dread of the winter dread is happening there. So this is on roll 20, and I'm just going to kind of show you how I do a town adventure or city adventure and how I build that up. So this is on roll 20. The characters, I use the lighting, the night vision for them all the time and I wish that I had more control over the lighting in the sense of their vision, like how far they see, like fog, kind of like fog of war type of thing. And also the lighting, dynamic lighting. So as you can see, I have lanterns that emit light so that they can see areas of the town that are lit up because the place is obviously in darkness throughout the day. But then they have some vision, because of the twilight. And so I like to create that atmosphere. And so that's what I've got going on here. And I just want to show you that. It's really cool. They're going to go explore. And I pretty much put lanterns where I want them to go. Just keep it simple. They can, if they want to look around other places, they can. And each location has something to divulge, or some encounter. There is actually one other location here that I don't have a lantern to, and I don't even know where I'm going to put it. But I've sort of co-opted one of the maps from the East Haven, the town hall, and put it in here. And I'll show you that here in a sec. But let me just go ahead and turn that off. So this is I do that smacking thing. Sorry about that. I'm trying to work on my, is it improv or not improv? Whatever. And don't edit because I just got so much to do. Anyway, so this is I'm putting in a couple of tokens just to kind of remind myself of what's where, like the dwarven. I kind of made this the dwarven area. This is the market. Over here is the evil church. And my Storm King's Thunder, this is a continuation of that story. So this is post that. It's kind of fun. I had a really big, for my Storm King's Thunder campaign, they had a really big campaign there with the Frost Giant Siege. And it was it was really fun. They fought through the town kind of a thing. And then they had to fight the Deep One cult over here. So that was, and the dwarves were involved. It was rioting. So it was a big town adventure or city adventure kind of thing. And they even have thief encounter over in this corner by the Wizard's Hall. So let me show you this. So this is where let me zoom out just so you can see it on the page. Okay, so this is where can I do this? No. I was trying to just zoom in a little bit. I can't. Okay. Zoom out a little bit. Sorry, I'm just doing my thing. My goofy thing. Okay, so how do I develop an adventure with the town? So in the original, in the Rime the Frostmaiden material, when you go to Bryn Shander, you don't even go to Bryn Shander. You go there and then you go do an adventure outside, I believe. You just go into the tavern or whatever. And I'm just like, come on, man. I want this. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Why would you not have an adventure in here? Like, do some crazy stuff. So, what I've done, and again, my lesson to you is make it your own. If once you buy the product, you need to create what you want out of it. Take the idea and then go with it. And just so you know, I'm generally a homebrew guy, but the reason I'm doing this is because there's a connection on YouTube for people and audiences and me looking at stuff. I don't want to tell you about my homebrew because it's not really important. What's important is teaching you how to take something we all kind of know and then making it your own. And so that's what I'm doing here. And so for me, what I do is I break down basically areas in the map. And I took a lot of this information from Storm King's Thunder. They had information of these groups that were in another part of another town in Storm King's Thunder. And, Storm King's Thunder has all this information, and I just congealed it into one, place. They had different areas, and I just it's too much. I put them all into one place, focus the story. And so that's what I'm doing here is I grabbed some of that information, and I have my own from Storm King's Thunder campaign, and then building on top of that. Well, what would happen after Winter Dread? After 2 years of Winter Dread, what would form? And I took the Torg merchant thing from the Rime the Frostmaiden, that like first adventure, and you encounter like a really tough guy with 90 hit points or something. First level supposed to encounter that. Anyway, I took that and think about it. If you're in a Winter Dread for 2 years, and this is a town, they're going to run out of food. They're going to start going crazy. They're going to start getting greedy, evil, chaos, gangs, the starvation, human sacrifices, and cannibalism is going to start happening, right? Why not? I mean, why not? So you got some people that worship evil gods. You got whatever. So what am I doing? I'm creating different horrible factions that are doing different things. So like, for instance, the Torg merchants are, they've created a cannibalism ring where they are selling the meat as they got it from the gods, from Oral, bless them. And they're giving this meat in the form of like sausages and things that don't look like they're human. Or whatever, and they're giving it mainly to the rich right now. They're buying out the rich in Bryn Shander, who come to the church looking for salvation, and although some of the rich too, and the other thing they're doing, not only are they cannibalizing and getting people to worship Oral here, they're also sending a bunch of them as refugees through the mountains. They know what's happening to them. Those are getting enslaved and killed by the goblins, the gnolls, and the berserkers to mine the Chardalin. And of course, they're also eating them. So this is really horrific. I'm making this a grim horror. The people are dying in the droves in horrible ways. And yes, I'm that evil. No, if you're going to have a Winter Dread, if you're going to have this horror setting, that's kind of what's going to happen. Especially if you're going to worship Oral or worship all these gods. Human sacrifices is a huge part of worshiping all these gods. And I'm going to, so that's kind of what I'm playing at now. I'm still bringing in humor, which is odd, but I'm bringing in humor and, making the characters or the NPCs kind of desperate and weird. The dwarves I put the dwarven clans right in here, and they're very locked down, like once again, like they were in Storm King's Thunder. They know bad stuff's happening. So they're the characters obviously the characters want to go to the Wizard Academy because they have a wizard staff they want to sell and get something else out of it. The druids here will probably want to talk to them. So every faction in here, I have a story, a plot device in there to give them more information. And how you have in a tavern, like in the original material, you have a tavern, and then they give you information. Well, I'm breaking that up into all these different areas where they want to go. Like they want to go to the Forge Masters and the dwarf guy from another town from Torg told him about the Forge Masters and the dwarves here. So they could go here and get, another. So this is Bryn Shander is where they're going to get their mid-level magic items if they can buy them. That's Forge Masters will have like +1 better weapons, maybe +2, or they can make their weapon. What I like to do is make their magic items better, so they can improve upon their magic items. And I like to do that where they get a magic item at low level, and then that magic item gets upgraded and upgraded. And so they fall in love with that item. So I like to do that, where the magic items get upgraded, and that's probably what they'll do if they go to Forge Masters, because those are the dwarves and gnomes and stuff who light the fire. And if they can get some wood from them, they'll totally give them something along with food. So that's what I like to do. That's how you make a town adventure interesting, is you just start creating factions and groups and have them have plot information, items for sale, and maybe their own little, say, quest, or that's really it. You can buy items, they have a quest or thing they'd like to get done, and they have plot information. And you kind of like to spider web it so that you kind of maybe have some of them interact with others. And what I just solved this morning, and that's what kind of was the impetus for this video, because I thought, aha, I finally got a breakthrough here. I had a difficult time with the Arcane Brotherhood, like when I was going to introduce them, when they were going to be interesting. And I don't want them to be NPCs, or higher. I don't want them to be part of the group, like Villain joins the group. I hate that, not because it's not a bad idea or anything. I just, as a DM, hate the mechanics of it, because when you have NPCs with the group, then you have so many more turns to deal with. So it's really the logistics of it, the mechanics of it, that I don't like. Story-wise, I think it's obviously a good thing, but I don't want to do it because I don't, I don't like to have it where they, player's turn, creature turn, and then DM gets another turn as the NPC. I want them to have all the turns they can have, and I just have the creature turn. I don't want to have the NPC turn as far as combat or whatever. So I try to avoid that. So the way I solved it was, when they go to the Wizards Academy is going to tell them about the Arcane Brotherhood, and that they came through, and that they stole one of their tomes on some ancient wizard city. So that, is carrying forth now their desire to find, what is this ancient wizard city? So you gotta sprinkle that those clues in as they go, as they progress in the story, to get them interested and intrigued by more and more stuff. And now they know there's an Arcane Brotherhood, or they will know there's an Arcane Brotherhood, and they will know that there's some sort of, they're looking for something, and they don't even care about the Winter Dread. That's weird, So, and that's where the Black Cabin is going to come into play. The Lost Spire is going to come into play, and start building up on that storyline. And that one's a very important storyline, obviously with the Lost City, because to me, like I said in my other videos though, but the Oral, she doesn't know about the weather device. She knows about the Lost City, but she doesn't know about that weather device. That I forgot the name of it, but the thing that does the weather. Once she learns about that, and that's going to be through the players and connecting it all, that's going to be the race to the Lost City kind of thing. And so that's going to be the finale. And to destroy it, or she gets it, kind of a thing. And one other thing I'm going to do, I think, and this I came up with recently, just an idea. I think I'm going to split up her. How Oral has 3 forms. I think I'm going to have them encounter each form separately. Like they'll encounter the owlbear form, her first form, maybe at some point in the ragged glaciers, and then they fight her. And if they defeat her, they think maybe they defeated her, but then that night she keeps flying over again. So they didn't defeat her. And they're going to learn about the 3 forms. And I think the 3rd form is going to be the crystal one, where she's going to be the Lost City. And that 3rd form is going to be, I might make it more powerful than what it is in there. We'll see. Because, man, Storm King's Thunder, when they fought, I forgot her name already. I'm losing brain cells here. When they fought, what's her name? Man, we said that name for like a year and a half. Or, you know who I'm talking about, the main ancient blue dragon, Imroth. Imroth, there we go. I totally gave her children came, the adult blue dragons came and helped, and the mummy lord helped. Boy, they still beat him pretty soundly. Anyway, and her lair actions. Anyway, so I tend to give, that one I played like high fantasy, so they had a lot of magic and power. This one, I think I'm playing a low fantasy, but I tend to like to give things, be nice. So, sorry, I'm digressing quite a bit here. So the way you create an interesting city is you create these different little factions. You start thinking about them. What are their goals? What do they want? Where are they? What are they doing? Who are they for? Who are they against? And when the Wizard Academy, I was thinking about the Arcane Brotherhood. I'm thinking, well, the Arcane Brotherhood must have, they're wizards. They probably must have gone to the academy to see what was, but they were probably evil, so they didn't want to tell the Wizard Academy what they're doing. So they probably were secretive, went in there, looked for what they wanted, and left. And then they stole one of the tomes. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, what is the goal of Arcane Brotherhood here? What would they do? So that's what they would do, and so that's what you need to do. Like, for instance, the Griffin's house. This is something I figured out. So the Griffin's house, Griffin's nest, is where she has griffins. This is in the Storm King's Thunder. Well, I'm figuring after 2 years of Winter Dread, she doesn't have any griffins. Now, did they starve? Did they die? I don't. I'm thinking now that and I wrote it down here that she lost them to the white dragons. I think the white dragons got more and more dangerous, and she lost them. If they're flying up in the air, I was thinking the rock would have gotten them, but I don't want to reveal that yet. And I'm not even sure I want to use the rock for Oral flying around. I think I want to use the white dragon, but I'm not really, or something mad. I don't know, maybe an undead rock or something strange, not just a rock. But I almost feel like she should be flying an ancient white dragon like Avarachax or Avarix, whatever his name is. But nonetheless. Or it could be like an enslaved. Anyway, something. I think white dragon, but maybe an undead one or a possessed one, kind of like in Game of Thrones. Kind of like that. And maybe the other dragon is just ticked off about it. I don't know. But the ancient white dragon that is in this story is up north, and I put him at the prison. He took over the prison. The prison thing was not interesting to me, so I thought that's the perfect lair for an ancient white dragon. He took that over, man. And especially after Winter Dread, and the prison probably, doesn't get any more supplies. So they're running out of supplies, so they're starving. So I think the White Dragon took advantage of that and killed them all and ate them. Ate them, of course. He's hungry. I mean, they're all starving. Even the White Dragon's got to eat. So I think that's if they want to go fight this ancient White Dragon, that's going to be a cool lair. That prison is awesome. That's way up north. Now the other dragons, I think there's a few of them, and the other ancient, not ancient, but another white dragon is going to be at the ship, and it's not the ancient white dragon's ship, it's the offspring's ship, because it's a small lair. So, like an adult or a young adult white dragon is there, and that's where one of the characters' backstory is, to go there and get the treasure and have the captain finally laid to rest. Yeah. So. The Griffin person is going to know about that. She's going to tell them about the dragons and attacking her griffins, and she saw the ship, and there's a dragon there, blah, blah, blah. And the other thing I realized is the House of Triad here, the temple, is going to teach, Delvers. This guy is kind of like a sage, or, they're going to know about the backstory of the same guy from the ship. And tell him about the ghost and speak to the dead. And you've got to, the captain is going to he's going to speak to the captain and say, the reason he's haunting you is because you left him out there for dead and left his treasure, and he wants his treasure to be taken by, if you can take it, that will fulfill his, it's my treasure, since you're his first mate or whatever. So that's the thing, that each one of these should give them information, should push the story along and make them feel like they're discovering things in this town. So another thing I'm going to do is the Torg Merchants. So this is the town hall from East Haven. I didn't really care for the story or this adventure, and then there's a ghost woman here, and I took that out on the statue. But I made the statue of Oral, and this is like the warehouse for the Torg Merchants. So I made it, and this is in Bryn Shander, and basically this is filled with thugs, Sefek, the Torg captain, some mob of thugs here, and then the druids. I put 2 druids in here, a 3rd and 5th level. I'm just going to be kind of, loosey goosey with what spells are being cast, just because. So obviously, one of them can shapeshift into a bear, but the bear is not very tough. So because these guys are mid-level now, but the 5th level can conjure a polar bear, which is pretty tough. That should be a good thing, or 2 dire wolves, which would be cool too. Either one, and then they can do some spells. So that should be a nice little because they're residing in these 2 rooms, and I think that once the people, the characters look at the statue, it's going to kind of mess them up a little. Oh, it's going to show the 3 forms. Right here. That's right. It's going to show them the 3 forms here, and that can give them a clue that Oral has 3 forms. See, you got to put these in there, man. You got to put these little things in there, these little infos that they learn. So let me just remind myself 3 forms. I mean, I kind of had it there, but so they're gonna look at that and get like they got to do a little resist. Oh, the 15 Arcana is gonna reveal that truth, and then the save here, or get a madness thing. So that'll be fun. But once they do that, the Frost Druids are going to sense them and come out and attack because they know they're the enemy. Because they know they're not supposed to be there, and they're going to say the whole Oral would preserve you, and freeze you and preserve you like a frozen meat or something. Okay, so that's my and this will be. I'm assuming they're going to find the Torg merchants at the church here, the Deep One, Sam Hale, now called the Icespire Church. That's where the Torg merchants. They're going to see them there, handing out the meat to the rich, and them doing a ritual and a service, and Oral will preserve us all. Take the gifts of Oral, that kind of stuff, and they're going to have to discover, and then who these merchants are. Another thing that's happening is they're setting up a pilgrimage of people to go across the mountains, and that's the people that are going to get killed by So they'll learn maybe about that. They got to go rescue them or help them, and that should be a fun. I mean, I don't know if they'll do that adventure or not. This one here, I hope they don't yet, but it's up to them. If they go that way, they're going to learn about the goblins and the gnolls and maybe even the Dwargar. And take that storyline. I have no idea which way they're going to go. Okay, but so there's these 2 storylines are going to be there. Are they going to follow the Torg merchants back to the home? Are they going to help the pilgrimage and whatever? But that's what's happening there. And if they follow the Torg merchants, then they'll follow them to their warehouse. I think maybe back in this corner, back up here somewhere, where they abduct people and freeze them in their basement down here, and have that's their meat, their butchery. Yeah, it's a butchery here. Gotta turn that into a butchery. Ooh, that's what I gotta do. I gotta make a butcher, like a ogre butcher. That's what I gotta do. Let me see. Where is this? Okay, that's the final. So I did create, okay, here's the, where they enter into the warehouse, where the wagons deliver their goods. There's obviously thugs here. Then out here is the Frost Druids. And they'll probably summon some creatures when they come out and attack. And this is, Cephik is here. And then I did this. This is a player from another campaign, this drawing. But I'm going to use him as the Torg captain. A tiefling. Ooh, okay. Yeah, he doesn't look good zoomed because I made him all 60 pixels. Okay. Bring back to size, whatever. Okay. And then a couple of thugs there. And upstairs is just going to be treasure searches. I'm not going to add more to thugs. It's going to be that would be a boring fight. And then down here, I'm going to get rid of these tribal warriors. They're not interesting. Whatever. Move these out of the way. I'm putting in kind of what I want, into the rooms. I mean, I could just delete these numbers because I don't need them. Might as well just visually. I don't like them there. And I'm kind of ignoring the rooms in the. Well, you have to actually for this one because it's completely different. I don't know why I'm doing this right now. I'll leave that just so I know what the heck is where. Anyway, so okay. So down here, okay, I got these 2, and I was trying to figure out what this is going to be the butcher room. So that's going to be creepy. These rooms are just going to be all the dead, So I got to put a butcher guy here, someone creepy. I haven't done that yet. I'll do that right now. I'm going to draw someone, or I can use something if I find something cool. one of my drawings. I mean, I could do like this creepy undead dude. It could be like a kind of looks cool. Like he's this is a frost giant skeleton that I did, but I could make him just like a creepy butcher that is butchering. Kind of an undead controlled dude. That might be kind of cool. What layer is he in? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So that's my video on how to build up a town adventure or city. Really, is creating factions. Things for them to find and explore. Factions to encounter. What can they get from them treasure wise? Or trade wise. Do they have any little quests or any little things that they're want, and then information on the story. And the quest things I'm going to keep minimal. Well, there's quest things, obviously, finding the tour merchant. I did some bug spray. It's really kind of itching my eyes on my now that it's hot summer. The fleas and mosquitoes are out. But that's the three things: trade, maybe a quest, or following them, and then that is the quest. Encountering them. And then information to further the whole story. Okay. And you break those down into those factions and you figure out, just think, what are they doing here? What's their condition? What's their thing? Just kind of don't worry about the big picture. Think about that little group, what they're doing, what do they want. Keep it simple. It's only a couple lines. You don't want to make it too detailed because you're not going to remember all that in the story. Keep it simple. Couple lines they're in of what they want to do, where they're at, their sufferings, and then let the story unfold and enjoy it. Okay, don't make it too complicated as far as details, but do have a lot of fun different little factions that you can quickly access and look at, and then play with them. So I hope that was helpful. Hope this is helpful, and check out my I have my own patron type of thing on my website if you want to support me there. That's how I market. Okay, so anyway, this is the end of the Bryn, Shander, Icewind delve around the Frostmaiden DM prep thing.